Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to talk about, and today you're going to learn about something you probably don't even know that existed or that exists still today. It's called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, and it's something that Mrs. Blair had no idea that existed on our awesome world today. One day I was watching a TV show on Oprah, and it was Earth Day, and she was had people come in and explain. And that day, the day that I was watching the Oprah show, changed my life completely because I learned about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Now, you probably can understand and think about what the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is. So I'm going to give you a minute to think about, what do you think the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is? All right, if you said a big pile of trash, the answer is correct. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch reaches from California all the way to Japan, and it is another word for it is a vortex of trash. I have my notes right here. It's a plastic trash vortex, kind of like a tornado is kind of like a vortex, right? It spins it and spins and spins. And it's trash in our oceans, which is causing a lot of terrible things. Now, 80% of the trash in the ocean is plastic, and 80% of that trash comes straight from land. Well, how does it get into the ocean? Simple. It goes in our gutters, and then our gutters take those canals all the way down, and it drops in our ocean. Sometimes when we're at the beach, we have a good time, we leave our trash, that goes directly to our ocean. But research has found that they have found trash all the way from Iowa in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. And so the wind also blows trash into the ocean from that far away. Isn't it so crazy? So crazy. Now, how big is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch? The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is 2 times the size of Texas. And we've been learning about the United States, and you guys know how big Texas is, but this one is 2 times the size of Texas. And every day it is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So what's the problem, Mrs. Blair? I don't go swimming in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. I just swim at the beach. Well, eventually that trash is going to get so massive, and that pile of trash or patch or vortex is going to get so bad that it's going to reach to land. And one day you're going to be swimming in an ocean filled with trash. Now, most of us go to the beach, and when we do go to the beach, we do notice a lot of trash. In fact, this is something that my kids and I notice a lot. When we go to the beach, before we go into the water, Mrs. Blair and her kids each pick up 20 bottle caps. And you're like, Mrs. Blair, that's too many bottle caps. But actually, it isn't. It's very easy to find 20 of these just lying on the floor. And in fact, I see them around town all the time, just laying there, right? Well, this is plastic. And then what happens when it rains or when the wind blows, or someone decides to wash their car, the water takes it down into the gutter and down in the drains, and those drains go straight to the ocean, which takes this little plastic guy all the way to the ocean. Well, what's the problem, Mrs. Blair, right? Well, guess what? A plastic bag and a cup look like a jellyfish. And what animals eat jellyfish? Lots of animals in the ocean eat jellyfish, especially turtles. I have a fact right here that plastic is 74% of the diets of a turtle. And so turtles are eating 74% plastic. And you know that they can't digest that. So when it goes into their system, it stays there and it builds up, and then eventually it will kill the turtles. And which is also causing a problem, right? Because if we just remove one animal from an ecosystem, a lot of things change and a lot of things happen. Like this week, we're learning about a gorilla, and a gorilla eats plants. Well, if we remove all the plants, then the gorillas are going to die. And then other animals will also start to die. Okay? And so that's something that we need to be worried about. Now, here's what happens is when plastic heats up, it starts to break down. So this cap or a plastic bottle, will eventually break down into little tiny pieces of plastic that are just flowing in the ocean. And lots of animals eat that plastic. In fact, just last year, a couple sperm whales died and washed up on shore. And when they opened them up and cut their belly open, they found tons and tons of plastic. And whales aren't the only one impacted. Let's think about all the animals that you can think of that live in the ocean. Okay, I bet you can name a whole bunch of them. Okay, and all of those animals are eating the plastic because they think, not because they want to eat the plastic, but they think that it looks like an animal, and so they go to eat it and then realize, oh no, that wasn't an animal, right? And then it stays inside their belly. And then the fish that eats that fish can also be impacted. And on top of that, raise your hand if you eat fish. Right? My family eats fish. So how do I know to say that the tuna that I just served for lunch didn't eat plastic? I don't know. And then that would make me that I eat plastic. And so the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is a very, very terrible thing. Now, I know that you're saying, Mrs. Blair, well, why don't we just clean it up? Because on land, there is nowhere to put all of that trash. Think about it. Twice the size of Texas. It floats 90 feet deep from the top of the ocean to the bottom. It doesn't even reach the bottom, right? That's just 90 feet of flowing trash. And everything heavy like TVs and refrigerators, those just sink down to the bottom of the ocean. And we know that the ocean is more than 90 feet deep. Okay, so plastic lives. Did you know that a plastic bottle lives about 1,000 years? So when I go to drink my Starbucks right here that's in a plastic cup, this plastic is going to live 1,000 years. It doesn't break down. All right? And that is a problem that we need to fix. That is something that I need to fix, right? I can try to do better and use less plastic by doing some certain things. So today you're going to do a couple slides, and they're going to be down below. The first thing is I want you to find 5 math facts about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. I've posted a couple videos that I want you to watch, and all of you research kings and queens, you are more than welcome to go on YouTube and find all kinds of videos on the Great Pacific Garbage Patch because there's so many, but I've posted a couple. So you're going to do a slide on some math facts about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, and then I want you to come up with a problem and maybe a solution. Okay, I don't want you to use this one, but one of the problems is that plastic doesn't break down. And so one of my solutions are that I'm going to try to reduce using plastic by using a water bottle. Okay, so the first slide is going to be math facts. The second slide is going to be problem and a solution, problem with the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and a solution that we can have. One of the solutions cannot be to clean it up because it's too big and there's nowhere for all that trash to go. So we're going to have to stop making it bigger. That's one of the solutions that we're going to have to do. And so how are you going to do it? And then the third slide for you is going to be on what's one thing you can do better at your house. What's just one thing that you can do better? So for my family, we are going to try to use recyclable cups to fill up our water bottles. And the second thing that we do is when we go to the beach, we pick up the plastic that's on the shore and the sand where we're playing before we even go play. So there's a couple things that my family does. Another thing that I do is I use recyclable bags. So when you see me at the grocery store, you'll see all I use is recyclable bags. And sometimes if I forget my bags, then I'll just carry it out. Like sometimes if I run into Kohl's really fast and I'm just buying a shirt, I'll just pay for the shirt and then I'll walk out with a shirt, no bag, right? Because that one little plastic bag can save maybe a turtle's life, right? And can help our environment become more beautiful. So we're going to talk about it today. You might not have time to do this before our Zoom, but the first slide again is going to be 5 math facts. The second slide is going to be 3 problems and 3 solutions. So you're going to write a problem like this and then a solution over here. And then the next slide is going to be a pledge of something that you're going to try to do better so we do not make this thing any bigger and have it affect the animals. But most importantly, I'm so excited for you to learn about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch because once we know about it, then we can start doing something about it. And I'm very passionate about it. So I hope that you find it very interesting and and kind of be upset about it. I want you to be upset about it because it's just terrible. It's a terrible thing and we need to do something about it. And so that's why I'm entrusting you guys to help me with it, okay? So have fun learning. I can't wait to hear your facts.